What's up, people? So I said I'd post this video eventually, and I gotta talk about it because I can just start off. So I was adopted at 6 weeks old. My parents aren't in my family or anything like that. We aren't really related, but I never knew anything different. Never knew anything was wrong, or never thought anything bad about him until I was like around 13. And when I was 13, I was over at a babysitter's, and one of their kids came out of nowhere and lifted up his 2-year-old sister's dress and pointed and shouted, "Baby vagina." I busted out dying laughing, turned to my sister, which was sitting right next to me, and said, "Monica, did you see this?" She said, "No, what?" And I said, "Do it again." And that was the first time I told him to do it. The kid lifted up her dress and did it again. She's like, "Oh, show Alex," or Isaac, which was the kid's brother, the kid's older brother. And I said, "Isaac, do you see this?" And he said, "No, what?" And I was like, "Do it again." And so that's now the second time I was telling the kid to do it. He did it again, and he lifted up his shirt and said, lifted up the dress and said, "Baby vagina." And turned my head, started busting out laughing again. And Isaac says, "Oh, and you keep telling him to do it?" But the only reason why I ever told him to do it was to show my sister. So the babysitter that we was at made some big deal about me telling on the kid, and came back and lied to my parents, or said something that I was telling him to do it, which I didn't until after he already did it originally. I had to show my sister. And so when my mom got there to pick us up, she came and hugged the lady and was crying and sobbing and said, "I don't know what he did, I don't know what's wrong," and all this stuff. And then when we finally got out to the car, my mom kept hounding me saying, "What'd you do? What'd you do? What were you thinking?" Didn't even ask my side of the story. So I didn't think too much of it then. And then really, when I got home, these are both my adoptive parents. My dad said, "Andy, you do not touch girls." I wasn't even within distance of touching her. Wasn't even anywhere close to her. They did this out in the middle of the floor. I had my sister sitting to the left of me, the babysitter's son sitting next to me on the other side, to the right of me, and the two younger kids were in the middle of the floor, right in front of everybody. And so my dad said, "Andy, you do not touch girls." So eventually I got over it and didn't thought, well, I didn't do anything. So, and one day, my brother had his daughter over at our old house, and said, "Oh, why don't you go make yourself useful and go change a diaper?" I said, "'Cause I don't know how." And he said, "Well, come on, I'll show you." So we was going over there, and he's about to show me how to change a diaper. And my dad was at the bottom of the stairs leaving the house, like foot out the front door, saying, "You can't do that. Remember what happened at the babysitters?" So that kind of stuck with me and hit me pretty hard, that I wasn't allowed to raise a human or have a family or take care of a human or anything like that. So my brother heard dollar signs, and said, "Hey, Andy, you want to babysit?" While they confused me about not touching girls, and that it was a 2-year-old that they was talking about. They and this is like a year and a half after he said, "Why don't you go make yourself useful and change a diaper," or a year or something. And so when I was 15, I agreed to babysit, and my brother, the guy that has all the clothes in the world, as a clothes hoarder, dresses his daughter up and see-through stockings, and puts a camera up. And he says that I started babysitting at like 5. He says that he'll be home by 11. So I was babysitting, whatever. I just remember sitting her down on my lap in a weird way. And these people were saying they got a video of it and my pants were down. I didn't remember anything about pants being down. I don't know if it's real or not, but I'm taking their word for it. And when they asked me about it, confronted me about it in 2018, I broke down sobbing and crying and apologizing, and went over to my brother's house and told him about it and said I was sorry for doing that and sorry for lying for so many years. And we're not lying, but not talking about it. And so I went over, like, this was fast forwarding a little bit to 2018, from when I was 15 years old to when I'm 24, going on 25. And God went over there, was crying in his face, telling him how sorry I was. He's accepted my apology every single time, all 4 times. And so growing up, between 15 and like 19, nothing happened. It wasn't really eventful. I was hanging out with people my age and older, and actually that shit happened at the babysitter, and it made me go talk to people that were like 4 or 5 years older than me. So that's another thing that Meet Me wants to leave out, is that I had a My Yearbook account, and I was talking to like 17, 18, 19, all the way up to like 24-year-olds when I was like 15 years old. And they want to keep that secret. And so when I'm like 19, I had this roommate in Lima, and one day he came home with this 16-year-old girlfriend, and we were like, I was 19, he was 19, and he came home with this 16. He was either 19 or 20, because I think he was a little bit older than me, but he came up with a 16-year-old girlfriend. I was like, whoa, how'd you get that? and he said, well, I just lowered my age on Meet Me. So that's where I got the idea to lower my age. I lowered my age, and then was talking to teenagers like 15 and older, and at least that I remember. And I was talking to the teenagers, trying to do the same thing and get a 16-year-old girlfriend or whatever. And it wasn't working out. And this dude's weird as fuck. So I'm wondering, why is he having so much luck with it? Am I even ready for teenagers? So the first and last time that I ever went and searched child porn was on Google. And I literally searched pedophilia, searched child porn, because I was trying to figure out, like, how could somebody be like that, or trying to figure it out. And, well, Google does this thing where it shows you images that are sort of related or kind of related, but doesn't give you any real child porn. So it gives you just enough to know how fucked up it is and how disgusting and disturbing it is. And saved the worst picture I could find. It was a picture of a bunch of kids standing on a choir stand naked, and it was like a black and white grainy photo, so it couldn't really make anything out. But it was like, to me, it spoke to like who all you'd be hurting if you kept looking at child porn or whatever. And every time I looked, I went from hard at women, from looking at women porn, to wondering, am I supposed to be into kids? and this is at 19, and I fucking went soft to it immediately. Never gotten off or never come to it. Went soft immediately. So, like, when I got back, that was like 2012. When I got back from Lima in 2013, I hung out with, I met someone, I lowered my age on Meet Me Again, met someone that was 16 years old when I was 19, hung out with her, never had sexual contact with her, never had any kind of physical sexual contact with her, and fucking, so that's the last one to my knowledge that I've hung out with. The last person I even had sexual contact with that was under 20 was a 17-year-old when I was 18 years old in Lima. So it's the last person under 20. And when I was 20 years old, I was dating this fucking 30-year-old woman child, I guess is what you could call her. And she would argue and fight over the dumbest things and want to go crazy and start swinging on you, or take a handful of heart medicine, maybe run across the room and fucking shove my fingers down her throat and make her throw up all of her heart medicine. And fucking, and so after like 3 months of this, I was like, you know, I should go back to doing what I was doing before, which was talking to teenagers on the internet and hanging out with them and taking them out on dates. My ex-girlfriend was beating me up and going crazy because the sex slowed down. So I did the Jackie Robinson account, which is a Meet Me account that I named Jackie Robinson, and lowered my age from 20 all the way down to 15 again, and was shooting my shot, but my messages were purely sexual. So I didn't get any, well, I got 2 responses on there from this. One, some girl's like, no, I don't really want to, you know, but she's still talking to me. And then the next one actually sent me a picture message. And these picture messages on Meet Me lasted for 15 seconds, and then it would go blurry again. And then, so I said, send that again. I didn't see it, because I didn't see it. And fucking, she sent it again, and I fucking tried to take a screenshot, and it wouldn't allow me to take a screenshot. So I fucking got over it, saw what I needed to see, deleted the account. Haven't done it since then. Haven't done anything teenager like that since I was 20. Well, I was out hanging out with women on the streets, and only women, and everybody was telling me that they was 20s, 30s, and 40s. It was over 18. And one of them supposedly got pregnant and was lying to me about their age. And I didn't know about it. That's the girl that's 23, exotic dancer, smoked a blunt, had a good time. I said, if that's real, it's a gift from God, because I wasn't trying. He said, oh, come on, he can't really be thinking it, can he? And then they let me go back to not believing. Like, it took them a whole month from them telling me that this Ashley got pregnant. This Ashley you almost ran the stop sign with got pregnant. Watch me only know 23 exotic dancers, smoked a blunt, had a good time. That's literally all I thought. And then a month later, they start using my conversation, or they're still using my conversations, and they'll be like, Jeffrey Epstein this, R. Kelly that, whatever, Michael Jackson this. And I was like, I hear you, but I don't believe you. And fucking, I could hear the disbelief in my voice. And so they said, well, come on. I said, if that's real, that's a gift, or that's a dream, because I wasn't trying. And they said, oh, come on. I said, that's real, it's a gift from God, because I really didn't know. They said, well, come on, he can't really be thinking that, can he? As soon as they said can he, I started jumping out. I jumped out of my seat and started jumping up and down, celebrating that I got a gift from God. And they let me go back to thinking it wasn't real. So they let me go back for months thinking I didn't even have a family. I didn't even have a kid. So, and then in the spring of 2019, they said something again that would make it sound like I had a baby mama. That sounded like I had a baby mama to me. So I was like, oh, I got a baby mama. And my friend Pamela, I was picking my friend Pamela up. She was like, "You look happy." I was like, "I am." And fucking, then they let me go back. They was mad. Let me go back to not to thinking that she wasn't real again. And fucking, then one day I'm watching Stephen Colbert like I always do, and they're fucking always bringing celebrities on there and mocking me, repeating my conversations or stuff I do throughout the day. And they're like, "Oh, so we got this new game show, and the biggest prize you can win is $23 million. Suspicious number." He says, "The boss, Andrew, told me to go load up the briefcase." And then they said, "A good Samaritan climbed through over 4 train cars to rescue over a dozen people." At this time, I didn't know how many people I had hung out with, but it was like 14 women that I had sex with on Sullivan, which was Hooker Alley. And fucking, and then the 4 train cars were supposed to supposedly symbolize the 4 times that I've been lied to and didn't know about it. Or it's either 3 times I've been lied to plus Krista Hillengross. They was trying to say that I did something sexual with them. And I said, "Now I know you guys are fooling." And fucking woke up the next morning, and on the news they're saying, "So you heard about," they're repeating my conversation, and they're saying, "So you heard about your money?" And I started jumping up and down, woohoo, and celebrating. Yes, yes, yes. And fucking jumped up and down, started celebrating, like was doing like the fucking touchdown celebration dance, like spiking the football. And he's all right. He won. What do you want, your money or your family? I said, "Oh, that's a hard one. I gotta go with my family on this one." Turned down $23 million in that quick of a conversation in less than 10 seconds. It's more like less than 7 seconds. And it took me longer to celebrate than it did for me to choose my gift from God over the money. And so I turned down $23 million, and they started saying, "Oh, come on, what's wrong with you? Why would you do this? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this?" And so I'm still celebrating, still geeked, and I fucking just dancing. But fucking, it's a gift from God for me, because the Jackie Robinson account didn't work out. I thought it wasn't supposed to work out. I thought it wasn't ever going anywhere. It wasn't supposed to be anything. And God gave me a gift to tell me that I was fucking doing the right thing from the beginning, and I didn't deserve the confusion from high school. So I had gotten over the kid stuff since I was 20 years old. That was the last time I tried. And fucking, these people came back when I was 24, well, when I was 25 at that time, in August of 2018, and told me this, and I didn't fucking know about it, didn't believe it, didn't think anything of it. And it's just crazy how they want to sit here and act like they wasn't there with me, like they just want to act like I'm the only one that went through this and saw what they said on the TV and that stuff. And fucking, along with telling me that person got pregnant, and that person and then that person lied to me, they also told me she has a brother that's 5 years younger than me. And when I was 25, he was 20 years old. And his name's Jacob. And then there's other stuff that they've told me that you'd only know if, like, there's other stuff that I did know that you'd only know if he was there or if you heard the conversation or whatever. So these people are trying to sit here and fake like they don't know that no one's been raped. Try to fake like they don't know no one's been murdered. They try to fake like they don't know that I wasn't the one offering people money for sex. Getting people started on prostitution. I had nothing to do with the fucking teenagers lying or anything like that. These people said that they've noticed signs of autism in me and stuff like that, and that I was misdiagnosed and with ADD and when I was really autistic. And they act like they act like the Jackie Robinson thing was for tightness, and it was all for to design my perfect woman. Like, I had this idea that if you got someone young enough, like in their teens or whatever, that you could raise them to like be like you and finish raising them pretty much, and we could raise them to be like you and like the same things that you like or whatever, and pretty much be your own person. And so I gave up on that when I was 20 years old, and then fucking 24, 25, they're telling me that it actually was successful, that it actually happened, was successful without me knowing it. And fucking these losers, I turned down $23 million with nothing in my pocket, having fucking quit crack and been recovering from crack for months at this time. Turned down $23 million with nothing in my pocket for my gift from God instantly. Fucking these people want to sit here in denial and act like I'm the one lying and act like I just knew this before they told me. But I swear to God, in my life, I didn't. So for the past 7 years, these people spent a good year, almost year and a half, trying to get me to believe it. And then when they made the racist game show, there's no freaking denying it anymore, or there's no not believing them or thinking it wasn't real. So now that's the only one that I think is real out of, they're saying 2 other people have lied to me, but they didn't tell me about it until March of 2021 and December of 2021. One of them was a guy from Craigslist that told me he was like 20, and the other one was another woman from Sullivan that I thought was in her 20s or 30s or whatever, 20s. And fucking, yeah. So, and when I was 23 hanging out with these women, everyone was an adult. There wasn't not one person lying. Wasn't ever skeptical. Didn't ever question them. Didn't say anything. Didn't ask them again. Wasn't curious. If I would have known that or known it was a teenager, then I would have wanted to know. I wouldn't have wanted to play games on fucking ages or fucking not know for sure. I'm nosy like that. So these people think an adult would just not want to know their age and all that. And when she said 23, I didn't argue with her. Didn't think she was lying. And again, they even asked me when I was 24 in like June of 2018, because my birthday's in July 2nd. So they asked me. There was this one girl they watched me hang out with in West Virginia that was like 23, I think, and I was 24, and she had a job working as like a nurse's aide or something like that in like a MRDD hospital or whatever, and we was fucking the whole time, and she asked me one day, she's like, who's the best person you ever had sex with? I said, there's this 27-year-old named Nicole that I hung out with, and and fucking they said some shit like or she said why. I was like, because it was tight. And fucking she said, oh, see, I knew you was going to say that, but I think she was like expecting me to lie and say that she was the best person or whatever. And fucking I told her the truth. And 27-year-old named Nicole, because it was tight. It was like a bottleneck. And fucking what was it? And then, well, when I got back from hanging out with Heidi the first time, they was like, damn, Buster, slow down. You already have a family. I was like, well, I don't have a family. What are you talking about? And fucking, they said, yeah, okay. And then in July, they say Ashley got pregnant. And I was thinking they're talking about Ashley Tallman, which is who I just got done hanging out with. And she hit me up on my birthday and said, hey, Andy, happy birthday. What are you doing? And I said, nothing, just chilling at the house. She said, oh, mind if I come over? I was like, no, shit, come over. You know, fucking, she came over. And we was fucking the whole time. And, well, she bought alcohol. She bought a fucking bag of weed. And she bought a pizza. And so, I mean, couldn't have been happier, really. But fucking, was fucking, like, after we ate all the pizza and smoked a little bit and drank a little bit of alcohol, and which is in my apartment that has cameras all over it that they're able to tell me when I leave my seat up and when how weird I'm folding my clothes or whatever. Yeah. And so Kylie, Ashley, whatever her name is, that Ashley, she told me her name's Kylie, 23, exotic dancer. I smoked a blunt, had a good time. It was fucking all I knew. And then, so Kylie was a gift from God for everything I'd been through as a teenager and all the confusion growing up and getting called a pedophile as a kid, like, which doesn't make sense. But yeah, getting called a pedophile as a kid, and so I fucking, and since they're saying I looked at fucking something on Google again, but I don't remember if it's after the Jackie Robinson thing or if it's before it. But they're saying I looked up female circumcision, which I thought was going to be a fucking grown woman or fucking just a weird looking vagina. And fucking, it was a bunch of little kids with their vaginas sewed up. And fucking, so it kind of, I didn't do anything at the time, but fucking, I guess I pondered about it or thought about it for a little while and came back and looked at it and it still couldn't get off to it or get hard to it, went limp to it and all that. So that's the last time. It's just every time I say not my problems because it's really not my problems. It's something someone else started that doesn't even work for me. So it's like, I know deep down inside what I think is attractive, what I think is sexy or not. And the fucking child confusion is nothing but confusion from women not working out or whatever. It's always about women. It's always about women and me not being good enough or thinking I'm not big enough or good enough for a woman. And so it makes me go back and look at that stuff. But I haven't looked at it since the fucking either Jackie Robinson or female circumcision, which I wasn't expecting to be a fucking. It kind of shocked me and reminded me that I did have to question myself on this before, so what is my opinion on it now? And get the same answer every time. I always think it's fucking bizarre, weird as fuck, and fucking go limp to it. It always starts off with me looking at women and adult porn and trying, and then going to see if I'm attracted to that, and I go limp and can't finish. But, yeah, so Kylie's a gift from God. Usually it wouldn't be a big deal to anybody else or anything if they hadn't gone through what I've been through and Jackie Robinson not working out and all that, and just thinking that you're supposed to be alone for the rest of your life. But God gave me a kid to tell me I wasn't a pedophile, to tell me I was that safe to be around kids and to raise kids, and that much of a gentleman to take care of to raise a teenage baby mama and my kid. And yeah, if I find out God gave me a daughter with a kid, then I'm going to be even more pissed. And we'll be ready to kill somebody. So That's it. Fucking changing the diaper wasn't supposed to be weird or supposed to be a big taboo. Fucking daunting task or whatever you want to call it. But fucking, I had to start a family like around 20. I was wanting to test my sauce out around 23 because my ex-girlfriend was beating me up saying that I was the reason she couldn't get pregnant. So when we was driving down Sullivan, she'd yell out the window, "Hookers," and I'd be like, "Well, why are you calling it style? Why are you calling them hookers?" "Yeah, because they're hookers." I said, "How do you know they're hookers?" I said, "They're all hookers, Andy." So that's how I fucking picked women up and tried starting a relationship with them and testing my sauce out on them. And it was all to fucking start a family and progress to the next step of maturity. And fucking, yeah, and then get past diaper change. I know if I would have done a diaper change like once or twice, it would have been anything big, wouldn't have been a big deal. It's just the anticipation of it that makes you think that so much could go wrong, but really I'm in control of myself. So, and if it was my kid, I'd want to take it seriously and do right and not fuck them up. But yeah, I mean, I'm proud of myself that I'm not a pedophile and that I'm not into that, and that was never me, and I don't like that. Every time I look, I go limp to it. Like I can't finish jerking off, and I go inoperable and can't get off to it. But and then the one picture I had ever of child porn fucking was on my HP Biscotti laptop that I got to go to college with. And fucking came back and my brother asked me, said, "Hey, can I buy your laptop?" And I was like, "I don't know." And fucking forgot about it, ended up selling it. So the picture itself ended up becoming obsolete and getting deleted. I didn't need it anymore. I'd grown past that. Fucking last thing I've done was on the internet with fucking teenagers from when I was 20 years old. But it not working out and me thinking that it wasn't ever supposed to work out or thinking it just wasn't a good idea from the beginning. God gave me a gift to say, no, you actually had some rock star kick-ass ideas. And thought it was a good idea for me to have a kid with a kid to fucking get over the society nonsense. I don't think pedophilia is attractive. I don't think it's cool. I don't think it's anything that someone should get themselves questioning on or get someone else questioning on or get someone else started on. I actually feel bad for the people that just don't know and haven't gone and fucking looked it up and know for sure that they're not like me, and that they're all stuck with these kitty thoughts. So, like I said, I don't think it's anything right. I don't think pedophilia itself is right. It's just God gave me a gift because of how salty these losers were going to be, or how these people were going to treat me, and fucking what they were going to do to me with lying and not telling the truth, and knowing that I was autistic and honest, that I didn't care. I was an open book. I mean, why care about something that isn't you or doesn't, that you're unashamed of? I mean, it'd make more sense for someone to keep it hidden if that's who they was, or that's what they was about, or that's what they wanted to be in life or do in life. But they could tell that I wanted a better way. And if I had known about the fucking lie detector, because that's pretty much what I was doing with looking at child porn on Google. If I had known about the lie detector test back when I was fucking 13, that would have helped. I wouldn't have ever been through this, and we could have fucking finished it then. But fucking I had to grow up by myself and learn by myself, and I went from not being able to touch girls to hanging out with women on Sullivan and on the streets, and fucking each time I backtracked, it got more and more mature. So like the last time I did any kitty backtrack was with Jackie Robinson, and then the last backtrack I'm doing with having learned a lesson already and not remembering it was fucking hanging out with these women on Sullivan. So I'm backtracking to hanging out with immature women on Sullivan, but still nonetheless getting more and more mature while doing it. And they knew that me raising a family would have been the best thing for me and exactly what I needed to finally put the nonsense and the silliness to bed. But that's it. I had to fucking come on here and tell you guys about it. I just want to be done with it. I just want a family and to be able to be an adult. I want to be able to every man's goal or whatever in life is to be a provider and have someone to provide for. So starting off with a woman on Sullivan would have been a good step, and then fucking working my way up to family or taking care of them for 9 months and then having a kid and then getting over diaper changes and then bath time and then all that would have been fine. I don't regret hanging out with these women. I don't regret my life. I don't regret Jackie Robinson. I don't regret anything. Only thing I regret is not knowing better than my parents when I was fucking 13 years old. My parents acting like they just know so much better than me and try to use their knowledge of what people do to each other and to try to sit here and lie that that's something that I was doing. Like, I hadn't even had the fucking sex talk, the birds and the bees talk with my dad ever at all in my life. But at that point, I hadn't yet either at 13, and he's accusing me of doing something I didn't even know you're supposed to be doing. So, and then it was a fucking 2-year-old, which fucking made it more confusing, but yeah. So I just want to be done with it. I was ready to be done with it when I was trying to start having my own family, but that's it, people. Just hanging out. I got all these people's ideas on my head, and it's all the kitty confusion that I was over with. But if you guys want to ask me any questions, you can. Feel free to. I'm an open book. I'll answer anything. I mean, after admitting the worst things I've done, I'm not really scared of any questions. So if you guys have anything you can think of, have anything you want to ask me, you go ahead. I'm not a pedophile. I don't think pedophilia is attractive or cool. I mean, just to wrap it up, I get turned off by it every time, so I just need a woman and need to stay focused on a woman and a relationship and loving a woman instead of fucking wondering if I'm not good enough for a woman or being enough or whatever, or being big enough or whatever. But yeah, people, so I'm gonna fucking call it quits for today. And I might be on stream later, like on Meet Me or Scout. Well, it's Scout right now because Meet Me banned me for talking about inflation. But all right, people, peace.